Good evening, sir. My name is Bob Baker, Oscar Baker, out of Columbia, South Carolina. And I've got you on a vertical here. And how do you copy? Go ahead.
Well, it just depends on where I am. I have 4 internet SDR receivers that I can go through. I have 3 10-foot vertical magnetic loops I can go through. I just need a little signal to be able to check out things. They're all on rotary switches, so I can check them out in about 10 seconds. So why don't you tell me about your antenna system, and I'll see what I can find. Roger?
You know, I don't know about my antenna system. I've got a GP1040, which is a vertical elevated radial, and I guess that's the do-all end-all for some antennas. Doesn't do it for me, but it seems to be doing something. And then there's an EA7B up there from DX Engineering. It's funny about that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And it's the same setting, so I don't know. Anyhow, my name is still Bob in Columbia, South Carolina. Who are you and where are you, sir?
Name here is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike, KC9VKV. This is the QSO-VLOG net. We're located centrally around Louisville, Kentucky. We're on the Ohio, Indiana side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Kentucky, home of fast women and beautiful horses.
Yep, I've never been to Louisville, but I was spent 3 years in Lexington, which is in its backyards, I guess. I don't know. Jim, you retired or you're working?
Well, we're working. Right now we're doing setups for folks' transmitters. If you'd be interested, our setup is generic. Starts with the compressor in line at a 3, a token amount, but it does exactly what we need it to do to arrive at a 3 dB dynamic range with an average of 80 to 85% average peak modulation. Roger?
Well, that's pretty good, I would say. Jim, my problem is I'm trying to get up a hex beam, and I cannot find anybody that will help me. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. I'm talking 6 months on the internet trying to find somebody. Last guy came out, he seemed like he knew what he was doing, never called me back, so I'm working on that. Go ahead. Roger. Well, you know, there's always the tree trimmers. You know, find you aspiring tree trimmer that wants to make a few bucks on the side. Roger? You know, I never thought of tree trimmers. That's because they got a bucket?
Well, they have a bucket, and they also have an interest in climbing. You know, one way or the other, they would probably be interested if the greenbacks were of equivalent financial reward. Roger?
So what's a fair amount? 500? Go ahead.
I would start at 100. It just depends on if they're in the neighborhood. That's when the price gets right. Roger?
You know, I would probably do that too, but I had this guy out here for 1,000, and he's been picking them up all his life, and you know, I thought that was a very good amount, but he never called me back. So, you know, but tree trimming is a good idea. Yeah, I'll get back with him. Thank you very much, Jimmy. It's another area to try. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I found $100 worked well for a gentleman to come about half a block away from where he was after he finished. Brought his little jobber, looked like a ditch witch, except it had big outreach arms, and he came up, and in 15 minutes he had it, the machine set up, and he was up the tower in the bucket. It took him, I explained what he had to do, and it took him about 90 seconds to do that, and he was down, and my Yagi antenna was swung about 30 degrees to the north, and just worked out perfect.
Well, what's your opinion on using the flagpole for the push-up rod? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, repeat?
How does the flagpole work instead of the push-up rod?
It works all right. Just depends on if it's insulated at the base, you know. That's the whole thing, unless you're just using it as a support device for, you know, a dipole antenna or something.
Well, it's down on the ground now. I thought I'd just put it in about 4 or 5 foot of concrete in a hole, you know. As far as insulation, I wasn't going to do anything. Go ahead.
Well, it gets tricky then to load it, because you're running a grounded antenna at the base, so you have to go up and make your connection up higher on the tower. You can't drop it from the bottom because that's being shorted to ground, so to speak.
Okay, well, the Hexing's going to have a grounded site on it, isn't it?
I'm not really familiar with that, sir. I thought you were talking about a vertical radiator.
I've been through too much stuff lately, I don't even know. But it's the coax that beats the Hexing, so one side I would think of the coax would be at ground potential, and then go from there.
Roger, Bob. Well, hey, Eureka, I found you down in Georgia. I found an SDR down in Georgia that's far enough away from PA that the jammer is not affecting you. So you really sound nice down in Georgia, Roger.
Affecting you, so you really sound nice down in Georgia, Roger.
Okay, I don't know what you mean. I'm at 7.188, and I'm in Columbia, South Carolina. Go ahead.
Roger, Bob. Well, do you know what Internet SDR receivers are? Have you heard of those?
Internet SDR receivers are? Have you heard of those?
No, I can't say as though I have. I've got an SDR here, an DX-3000. But, Scott, I think I'd sooner go back to the old Heathkit. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Well, Internet SDR receivers are receivers that are located around the country that you can acquire their signals through the Internet. And then, so you're listening from that point of view, not yours. You're listening to the remote Internet SDR locations receiver. And I usually run with 4 of those. I have 4 Amazon Fire tablets in front of me, and each one of those is dialed up to a different Internet SDR receiver. One's in New York, one's in Georgia, one's in Pennsylvania, and one's in Virginia. So I have these 4 Internet SDRs that I can sample. The audio from those Internet SDR receivers, and they're just Fire tablets, comes to a 6-position rotary selector. So I can go through those audio outputs, and my local receiver audio is on that rotary switch also. So within second half, 2 seconds, I can run through 5 different input sources for the cleanest signal. Roger?
Different input sources for cleanest signal. Roger?
Well, you're certainly clean here, Jim. Am I coming to you from an SDR receiver?
Yes, sir. I've got you on Georgia SDR. The jammer's up around Pennsylvania. So I'm downriver from him, down in Georgia, and you're perfect down there, Roger. No jammer at all.
Down in Georgia, and you're perfect down there, Roger. No jammer at all.
Okay, that's a new term to me. What's a jammer?
Well, the jammer is a QRMer. A QRMer is a psychopath.
It's a QRMer. A QRMer is a psychopath.
Well, that's kind of what I thought too. But Jim, I've been licensed since '62 and just getting back into it. And man, it sure has changed a lot. I just don't know. I've got the 7.188, and as long as you hold up, that's probably where I'm going to stay. Let's see what's that puppy putting out there. Probably just about 1,500 watts here. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger, Bob. Well, you have the capabilities of Sally Forth. And so when you have that capability, you can bypass the problems because your signal just is everywhere. So if anybody, has an SDR capability, they can go somewhere else other than where the jammer is and hear you just fine, It's just the folks around the inconsiderate QRMer that have the problem,
Considerate QRMer that have the problem,
Yeah, I'm familiar with those QRP placards or whatever they're called. 7.2's got a bunch of stuff on it. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Now you're talking. Don't say that word around here, Rajesh. That's a voided word around here.
Don't say that word around here, Rajesh. That's a voided word around here.
What's that, 7.2?
Yes, sir. No, I didn't hear what you said.
Yes, sir. I didn't hear what you said.
No, I've tuned in on 7.2, and I can't believe what's going on there at QSL.
Well, just look at it this way. they are there, so we know where they are, and they're not elsewhere. So as long as that's the case, they can do what they need to do on 7200, and that's just beautiful.
To do on 7200, and that's just beautiful.
Yeah, as long as they don't go anywhere. I'm only concerned with the little kids that are hearing that stuff, you know?
Roger there, Bob. But anyway, your radio, usually we do transmitter setups, and that's what the QSO-VLOG net is all about. I've been looking at your signal. I'm looking at your audio on a VU meter that tells me a great deal about your dynamic range. And you have a nice dynamic range, somewhere around 3 dB, which is nice. Because, you know, your average unprocessed audio is about 10 dB. With that would mean that the average percent of modulation, average modulation would be 30%. So at 3 dB dynamic range, the average percent of modulation is 80 to 85%. So you're almost twice as loud as unprocessed, Roger.
So you're almost twice as loud as unprocessed, Roger.
Okay, well, this is an DX-3000, and it's flat right out of the box, so I didn't mess with any transmitter settings. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, you know, you're lucky because, is that a stock mic that you're running?
You know, you're lucky because, is that a stock mic that you're running?
Got the Yazoo $200 microphone.
Roger. Well, anytime you put a microphone on a radio, you need to always check your ALC to be sure that you're running mid-scale to 2/3. All mics are not created equal, so they're different volumes, different level outputs, so you need to make sure that your mic is running mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC when you put a new mic on. Roger?
Put a 2/3 on your ALC when you put a new mic on. Roger?
I've got that 2/3. Okay, I can do that. Now, I'll tell you a story about microphones. The Electro Voice 210, you familiar with that one?
Not really, but Electro Voice has got a lot of different microphones. Is this a dynamic microphone?
Voice has got a lot of different microphones. Is this a dynamic microphone?
Yeah, it would be dynamic as I remember it. Anyhow, I worked in a vocational center, and the kid asked me, he says, how is that microphone? I said, you can beat nails with that microphone. It's so good. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I missed the punchline. Give me that again.
I'm sorry, I missed the punchline. Give me that again.
The kid asked how good that microphone was. I said that RE10 is so good you can beat nails with it. Got it?
Got it, sir. Now, I would advise, listening to your signal, if you get a chance to check your equalization page, I would increase your treble EQ by 3 clicks. 3 clicks boost treble EQ just for added intelligibility and articulation. Roger?
Just for added intelligibility and articulation. Roger?
Okay. Well, the shop teacher called up and said, I got a kid down here with one of your microphones building a birdhouse with it. So, you know, we took that mic off at QSO.
Yeah, Roger. Well, you know, gosh, I'm a condenser man myself. This is a homebrew condenser microphone into an ART preamp. I really like condenser mics from the standpoint of the ability to capture articulation very readily without having to do immense EQing. That's the thing about electret microphone over a dynamic microphone. Roger?
That's the thing about electret microphone over a dynamic microphone. Roger?
Well, I guess, I don't know. I've got the microphone that came from Yazoo, and I don't know if it's dynamic microphone or what, but go ahead.
Roger. Well, it's sounding good. Like I said, you could use just a little more top end if you get a chance. But anyway, Bob, I appreciate you dropping by, sir.
You get a chance. But anyway, Bob, I appreciate you dropping by, sir.
All right, sir, I'll let you go and see what other things I can cause. Thank you very much, Tim. God bless in 73.
Roger, Bob. Come back one more time slowly, phonetically, with your call sign, please.
Roger, Bob. Come back one more time slowly, phonetically, with your call sign, please.
Okay, the call sign is November, India, 8, Alpha. Go ahead, copy.
November India 8 Alpha, is that a roger?
November India 8 Alpha, is that a roger?
QSL, that's a roger, Jim.
Roger, Bob. Well, 73, sir, and we're on the QSO-VLOG net every Friday afternoon between 3:30 and 5, and we'd love to have you drop by, Roger.
Between 3:30 and 5, we would love to have you drop by, Roger.
All right, sir, this is coming up on, let's see, this is Friday today, isn't it? Yeah, so we got you marked on a book. We'll be looking for you later.
Sounds good, Bob. All right, let me say 73 to you, sir, and you have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. And, gosh, it's I see by the clock on the wall a dead fly. It's an old story, but it just might work. It's 1 minute past 5, so we got to get out of here. If you have enjoyed joining us and would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, along with today's date, 10/29/21, that will take you to this recording. That is a YouTube search for KC9VKV, along with today's date, 10/29/21, take you to this recording. If you go to YouTube and just do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page, where we're running about 1,900 recorded QSO-VLOGs, something for everyone. You can browse through and check and say, hey, I like his audio, I don't like his, I like mine better than his. It's all about options. So again, KC9VKV general search on YouTube will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. So with that, we will be jumping out of here and returning this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, clear.